Hello everyone, thank you for listening and watching. My name is Nefertiti and you can find my information in the description box below. In this video, I'm going to talk about abuse. And some of this is a channeled message, some of this is just me sharing my insights and what I've gone through and learned based on my experiences with abuse. So this video will trigger some people. If you're not ready to hear these messages, I understand, and please click off. But this is something that Spirit wants me to talk about, so here we go. And you can always come back when you're ready. You know, these messages are timeless and there's no judgment. Just come back when you are ready to hear what is being presented if you're not ready at this time. So I am going to offer some crystals and spirit animals to help you heal from abuse, understand it, work through it. But like many of you, I grew up in a physically, mentally, and emotionally abusive home. I think it's something like 85% of households are highly dysfunctional. So that doesn't make a whole lot of us special, right? So most of us have experienced or witnessed abuse. I mean, that's just a part of this 3D life. But it's all traumatic, right? It's all quote unquote unnatural in a sense, to our rational minds anyway. But abuse is cyclical, right? My parents were raised by abusers, and there was a lot of sexual abuse in my family as well. Thank goodness I didn't have to go through that. Over the past week, I was led to watch a few documentaries surrounding the topic of abuse, and among them were two that really impacted me. I'm going to link them below. The first one was Lorena, and that's about Lorena Bobbitt and the whole story and situation and court case behind that. The second one is called The Eyes of the Devil, and this documentary goes into detail about child sex trafficking and children in brothels and things like that. These documentaries are highly, highly triggering. I know with the Eyes of the Devil, I cried several times. So if you're a very emotional person, you know, viewer discretion is advised. Lorena's the same way. That was very hard to watch. They go into detail about her abuse. They even show the cut off dick. So yeah, they go in. Just be mindful of that if you decide to watch it. But I feel like as we need to look at these parts of life, right? They exist. These things happen and they're still happening. Even though we're ascending, we're moving up in vibration, we still live in a world where this kind of ugliness and density of energy occurs. It's in pockets, right? This definitely triggered some shadow work for me watching these documentaries. A lot of the energies, the elements, the situations were familiar to me. And this led me to work with Merlinite, which is a crystal that helps you to see the duality in life. The really, really good and the really, really bad within yourself and with the people and situations around you. It's also a stone of magic and can reveal to you any spells, generational curses, hexes, evil eye, etc. Any negative energies projected at you, any negative energies in your generational lineage. And this is good because now if you become aware of these things, then you can do something about them, right? And it's very important to know that these generational curses, these hexes, all of these things are creating obstacles in your life if you're not aware of it, particularly in your intimate and familiar relationships. I feel like a lot of the light workers and way showers and star seeds that are incarnate at this time have a collective soul mission of breaking generational curses, right? Shifting the paradigm. That's a part of that whole situation, right, of creating the change, the micro and the macro. We create the changes within ourselves, within our energy, within our bloodline, right, creating new karmic patterns. Remember, karma's not bad all the time, but that's a part of our collective mission, I feel. And it's important, like I said, to know these energies, because you have to know your quote unquote enemy to defeat it, right? One thing Spirit revealed to me is that the cycles of abuse are generated and orchestrated by entities, demons, dark forces, abusive life forms that were assigned to certain families or individuals prior to them incarnating. Remember that when we're working beyond the veil, when our spirit is beyond the veil, other energies can see us too, can see what we're doing, can see our work, especially if you are doing spiritual work without protection. That's very important when you're meditating, when you're praying, when you're doing any kind of communication with spirit. You should always, always, always use protection. The Bible even says that, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, right? But against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places, right? We have weak vessels around us that lower vibrational energies can work through. Spirit also told me that a lot of abuse occurs because someone in the bloodline opened up a portal or a vortex. Some people do this consciously for selfish reasons, and they don't know what they're dealing with. But sometimes it's done unconsciously, because remember, the most powerful tool of darkness, of the enemy, is suggestion, right? Suggestion. It's not about them stopping you. It's about getting you to stop you, getting you to comply, right? Getting you to give away your power on some level so that the abuse can occur. They have to have permission. Entities have to have permission. This is very hard for people to understand and comprehend on a conscious level. But we have free will, but we also have dominion over our energy. But because these entities work on a lot of different levels, spiritual wickedness in high places, we can be persuaded, right? These entities will move through people generation after generation, and they get stronger as they're being fed via attachment and with the constant acts of abuse, which generates more energy for the cycle. And it's my belief that this is why serial killers, serial sexual predators incarnate. It's an accumulation of energies that gets so dense that it has to play out this way, that somebody has to incarnate that's completely psychotic so that this karma can be worked out. The mind is so powerful, yet it's malleable, and entities know this. That's why I said, they use persuasion, suggestion. I mean, we have 60,000 thoughts a day. You can best believe there's some interference. The mind sometimes will recognize this entity as familiar, right? If we've already experienced abuse. And the mind is where the entity actually lives, and the emotions are like the grocery store, right? So your mind is the home, your emotions are the food. Generational curses, abuse, energies, they're slow moving, coercive, and like I said, extremely psychotic. The energy if I had to describe it physically, it's sticky, it's gooey, and it pulls on your energy. So it doesn't only make you feel stuck, but it pulls and sucks. And these types of entities are extremely hard to kill, but they can be quote unquote killed, released, however you want to look at it. One thing to keep in mind is that all abuse creates trauma, and the trauma is the actual portal for the entity to move in and out of your life over time if you don't heal it. And like I said, I do believe that you can kill entities and demons. We're the powerful ones. We're the eternal ones, not them. That's why they need to hitch a ride on our energy. It's about us knowing who we are. Abusive entities know that women and children are more intuitive, but they're also more empathic and physically vulnerable. So this is why they're targeted the most, why we're targeted the most. The divine feminine is the portal to existence. So again, that's why more women are violated, because that's the source, right? The portal of creation. And children especially, because they're still so close to source. You know, as we get older, we forget who we are, but children remember. And entities try to get them while they're so young so that that mind can be conditioned to abuse. And I believe it's the entities themselves, that just take over a person, and this is why they can't recover. Most abusers do not recover. They usually settle for a life of loneliness or misery later on, or they end up in jail or dead or whatever, right? But they don't usually recover. Now, I know that's, there are some exceptions, but generally speaking, that's just not the case, right? Abusers get temporary power as they perceive it, but this is also creating a karmic debt. And they overlook this, they disregard this, because again, it's the entity, right? The entity. You'll often hear abusers not even remember executing the abuse. They'll say, I didn't do that, or it didn't happen like that. And you're just like, what? So remember that the abuse takes place first on the etheric level, with the abuser sending the victim negative energy. This is very damaging, especially to sensitive souls that are not aware, because it lowers your vibration slowly over time. Then the abuse goes verbal, and then physical sometimes, sexual. So there's a cycle, right? A process. So now that you understand what abuse is on a spiritual level, let me offer you some more crystals and some spirit animals that can help you if you are healing from abuse, need to heal from abuse. Rhodochrosite is a great crystal. It's a heart chakra stone that comforts the soul and increases your inner peace. It's a great healer for anyone who is abandoned or feels unloved, and it's one of the best stones for healing from sexual abuse. It helps you to get back to you, helps you to reclaim your self-worth. It's a stone you'll have to work with consistently over time, for a long time, as you learn to love yourself before loving others. That's the main lesson, if you will, teaching of this crystal. Rhodochrosite helps you to honestly examine your old wounds, suppressed feelings, and traumas from childhood or past lives, which makes you more attractive to abusers. And I say attractive, not attract, because I assume no victim wants to be victimized consciously. Rhodochrosite helps you to review destructive patterns of behavior that you may have adopted as a means to cope. Rhodochrosite is a beautiful guide in the quest to emotional happiness, helps you to move forward after a period of doubt, rejection. Rhodochrosite is also great for balancing and healing the rescued energy. The one that not only aids those in need, but that rescues the rescuer, if that makes sense. So I love working with rhodochrosite. It's got a very lovely vibration. I highly recommend you add it to your collection. Mahogany obsidian is another one that's great for working with abuse energies and entities. It's a root chakra stone that offers protection from psychic or energy attack. It's said to remove energy cords between people that sap you and violate your boundaries, such as abusers. It'll protect you from psychic attacks by those who wish to harm you, and for those who don't even intend to harm you, but their energy is so negative, so aggressive that they inadvertently might do so. Again, this is because they're being controlled by entities. Mahogany obsidian removes psychic implants as well, protecting you against repeated problems of abuse. So this is great for people who've left. Mahogany obsidian eliminates energy blocks, and it's advantageous to keep on your body if you're suffering from any pain as a result of abuse. It cleanses negativity and any harmful energy that has been stuck in your sacral chakra from old trauma. Mahogany obsidian also will help you to focus, helps you to make decisions. It's a great stone of self-acceptance and self-confidence, all necessary when one decides to leave an abusive situation. Let's move on to the spirit animals, and tick, believe it or not, is a great spirit guide to work with if you are dealing with energy vampires, which abusers definitely are. Tick shows up when the abuse has gotten so severe that your health and finances are also suffering. More often than not, abuse victims that come forward are also abused again by the system, by unsupportive family members, by people who just can't be there for you because they don't understand trauma, or maybe it triggers them. So tick will be a great ally for you if this is the case. Tick will help you to tread carefully so that you don't trigger the abuser if you're in this situation now. And tick shows up as a he for me. Tick will help you to identify people that are deliberately trying to provoke you so that you can move away from these energies, these people that want to be a victim. It's all your fault, right? Tick says, do not engage. Let people deal with their own bullshit. Tick will also to help you to take the appropriate action steps to purge anyone or anything from your life that is traumatizing you or draining you. Scorpion represents a situation in your life that may be painful, stinging, harmful, or hurtful, right? So an abusive situation. Scorpion will help you to cut out codependent, toxic, clinging, sticky, nasty energies that accompany abusive relationships. Because of the bitter words and negative energy thoughts projected at you from the abuser, you might be in self-destructive and self-defeating patterns, keeping you stuck, which is, of course, is a part of the abuser's plan. But Scorpion will help you to get out of that. Scorpion says you should reestablish your boundaries, and he'll help you. He'll help you to make decisions about the direction of your life over the next few months. So if you're planning to leave, planning your escape, Scorpion's going to help you to be pragmatic, help you to do one thing at a time, help you to do what needs to be done. Scorpion says that you can always find light in the darkness, so don't listen to what anybody says. Transformation is inevitable when Scorpion shows up, and it's up to you whether or not this transformation is chaotic or calm. Scorpion will also help you to release denial energy. A lot of abused people are in denial about what's going on, about how bad it is. Scorpion will help you to let go of the pain and learn to accept the situation for what it is so that you can move forward with your life. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I look forward to speaking to you again really soon. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.